Everyone is inspirational in their own way, and everyone has a story to tell. This finale episode is intended to celebrate the inspirational parents within all of us. And today we're going to meet some extremely inspirational people who haven't just followed their passions and created careers out of them, but remained great parents through it all. A chat with one of India's top attorneys, Zia Mody, who's also a wonderful mother to her 3 grown-up daughters. A look at how Shaheen Mistry, founder of Teach for India, is pursuing her vision of giving every child in India an education. A peek into encouraging our kids to try their hands at all kinds of activities, because who knows where their passions will lie. A chat with the 10-year-old published author Kashvi Barjatia and her dad, who helped make it all happen.
Papa said that, yeah, if you write it properly and nicely, then I promise I'll publish it for you.
And a tete-a-tete with champion boxer and supermum of 3, the amazing MC Mary Kom and her husband Onler, who she describes as the champion at home.
Of course, it's very hard as a mother, leave them and go and train. But my performance, it's still maintaining.
A top career woman gives us some incredible insights and tips on how to remain a great mum while pursuing an extremely competitive career and staying at the top. So Zia, this might sound very cliched, but one I have to ask. Having achieved so much in the corporate space, how have you managed to balance your being a mom and your career?
Sorry to disappoint your audience, but there is no perfect balance. And I think working moms struggle quite a lot. And I'm not sure I see a perfect solution down the line, but there are a few tricks that you can learn along the way. The first is really to figure out what is unnecessary for you to do. And a lot of it is riffraff. And you have to be smart and strategic enough to be able to delegate it. The second is to make sure that even though your kids will miss you being at all the mummy kiddie parties, you are always there for the important events.
I think that's
Exactly.
a great tip. So now in terms of changing lives and pursuing your dreams, was law something you always wanted to do as a kid? I mean, I know, of course, your dad, Soli Sorabji, the former Attorney General of India, and who in fact helped my dad, I believe, a long time ago. On
Yeah,
the
I
case.
think my father never really pushed me into law, but I think the DNA was such that I naturally drifted into it. I was quite fascinated with the subject. I was quite argumentative by nature. I liked debating, and I think that it came quite naturally to me. So I was not very surprised. If my father was surprised, he didn't show it. Of course, he was happy that I was doing law.
And then, of course, you have the dream, but then along the way happens marriage and kids. And when you got married and had your kids, did you ever waver in that determination, or were you very focused, and has that brought you to where you are?
Yeah, I think it's the latter, really. I did realize that I had to take some time off. So after each of my children, I took 4 months, 5 months, 4 months, 5 months off. But I always knew I would get back. I was very passionate about it. And that is really one of the ingredients that I always say keeps a working mom going, the passion.
When you were starting out, I'm assuming, of course, you were amongst the minority, a working woman lawyer. Did you face any prejudices? Did you have to fight your corner?
We were a huge minority.
Yeah.
There were hardly any women in the early 80s when I came back in the courtroom. And even if there were women, they hardly ever got a chance to open their mouth. So to see a young woman get up and try and make her voice heard,
Yeah.
not that I was the only one, but probably there weren't more than 5 or 6.
Really?
And that in a profession which had, thousands of men.
Yeah.
I always felt very nervous in the early times that I would say something stupid, that people would laugh at me, that I would make a bit of a spectacle about myself.
Yeah.
And so I basically tried to cover that up by over-preparation. I would make sure that nobody could accuse me of not knowing.
Yeah.
How I presented it then was up to God.
Yeah.
And if I won or not was up to the judge.
Right.
But I couldn't be underprepared. And so I would spend, probably in hindsight, hours of needless time looking up, just because I did not want to be shamed by the other side.
That was really interesting. And is there any message you'd like to give?
Well, I think that, The message for working women is that if you're going through a particularly rough patch, don't take snap decisions. Take a little time off, think through, take a deep breath, and then take a sensible decision.
Thank you so much. That was
Pleasure.
really lovely. Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
I've always been a believer that good health and education are our two biggest assets. And giving education at a grassroots level to all children everywhere is the start of creating a truly progressive nation. When I was asked to co-launch Shaheen Mistry's book, Redrawing India, and when I read it, I was amazed to find exactly what I was thinking expressed so articulately. Not only does she say it, but successfully implements it too.
I started my journey at 18. I walked into a slum community and just started teaching. And I feel like those first few years of working directly with children in an urban community were incredibly transformational for me in my own journey of understanding myself and what I wanted to do. Spent years trying to understand what is it that we really need to do with children to give them the opportunities to maximize their potential. And that propelled us to think about how do we do this at scale? How do we change the system such that every child can get the opportunities to maximize their potential? And that led us to create Teach for India. Teach for India was the idea that if we wanted to get an excellent education to all children in the country, we needed to build a movement of leaders committed to that vision. My vision is that one day, Teach for India students will become Teach for India fellows. The vision of Teach for India is an India where every single child gets an excellent education. And when we mean an excellent education, we mean the kind of education that makes you who you want to be in terms of the values that define you. We were talking about this book, right? Teaching as Leadership. I was showing up. So what this book is saying is that to be a great teacher and to be a great leader are the same thing because you have to do the same things. So we follow what the school wants us to follow because the children will have to prepare and sit for their 10th standard exams. But what we do is we go above and beyond that. So we teach in a different way and we try to combine academics, values, and what we call exposure and access. What is your vision?
At the back of our school, it is the place is very dirty. We get together and started cleaning it. But after cleaning, the people were there. They again started throwing garbage and everything. So now we have thought in our heart that until and unless we will not clean it, we will not give up.
If we really want to see a different India, kinder, safer, more compassionate India, that each one of us has a role to play. And it doesn't need to be something big. It's the little things that we can do each and every day for children that will make a difference.
TFI is very nice. They are lovely, amazing, fabulous, precious, and very nice.
Thank you all Didis and Bhaiya for coming to our school, for teaching us and for your precious time. Thanks a lot.
Coming up, Zen and Kai have fun baking cookies. So what did you enjoy most about the baking workshop?
Eating!
A chat with 10-year-old Kashvi Barjatia on her recently published book. And a chat with magnificent MC Mary Kom.
After the retirement, I will be fully give a time to my academy.
Our parents always encouraged myself and my sister to pursue all kinds of co-curricular activities. And I think, like most parents, we also try and encourage our kids to have as many diverse experiences as possible, as I believe it's only then they can find what they're really interested in. So the other day when we were shooting at the Trident PKC and they told me they have a little baker's workshop, I jumped at the opportunity to let Zen and Kai try their hands at baking.
We are going to make some nice, soft-scented chocolate cookies. They're really very yummy. So we'll start with the butter. Now we have some sugar here.
Yay!
Now it's time to put in the eggs.
Should I put it in?
Yeah. Very
Wow,
good.
that's nice. Okay, so now we can add melted chocolate.
Wow,
Do
chocolate.
it.
So yummy. Yeah, you like it? Add the whole.
Wow.
We mix in the chocolate chip. Your mixture is done. Now this will go into the refrigerator.
Yummy, yum.
Let's
And
see.
I'm
I
going
think-
to eat.
Look, Chef Anurag's brought the cookies. Come and see.
And they're right here.
Wow.
And for everyone.
So what did you enjoy most about the baking workshop?
Eating.
It's not just about parents pursuing their passions, but kids too. I had a lovely chat with Kashvi Barjatia, who's written a book and had it published at the age of just 10. I also spoke to her dad on how he and her mum encouraged her to do this. So first, Kashvi, Lost in the Woods, how did the whole idea come to you? Was it something you were always passionate about?
One night, I was sitting in our bedroom and I was writing something on the paper and Papa asked me, what are you writing? So I said, I'm writing a story. And I said that I want to write a book one day. So Papa said that, yeah, if you write it properly and nicely, then I promise I'll publish it for you.
Wow.
For me, it was a way to encourage Kashvi to pursue her dream and live her passion.
Now, Kashvi, is the book based on fact? Are these actually things that happened, or is it all imagination?
It's all imagination. So in Mumbai, you don't find anywhere, really adventurous to go on a picnic. So I always wanted to do that. So I wrote a story and that's how it came.
Wow.
But all the friends of Kashvi in the book are her real friends. That's the only part which is fact. The rest is all fiction. It's a child's imagination, which I think can run absolutely crazy.
Absolutely.
Delightful.
Do you think you want to be an author forever?
I want to be an author surely, but also have another job as well as writing. So I don't know. I always wanted to be a journalist also.
Wow. Okay. Rajat, what are your thoughts if Kashvi decides to be a full-time author? Is that something you and your wife are cool with, or what's
I
your
think
view?
we are very clear as parents that we want Kashvi to do something she loves doing. She should not have to wake up in the morning and say, God, what am I doing? I mean, she has to be so excited about what she's doing. She has to love her job.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, I think we'll be truly supportive of her as parents.
So really, all the very best, and thank you so much, both of you, for being on the show.
Thank you, Tara, for
Thank
inviting us.
you. And now, someone who's achieved incredible heights in a space that is very different. Boxing. 5 times world champion, Olympic bronze medalist, Padma Bhushan winner, gold medalist at the recently concluded Asian Games, with a biopic made on her, the one and only magnificent MC Mary Kom. So Mary, what does motherhood mean to you?
Motherhood means it's a big role, of course. And being a mother all the time with them, it's a different feeling, love,
It's a different kind of love. I completely agree. It's not something that you can... I mean, you love your husband, of course, but it's a different kind of love. I think it's truly selfless, completely.
Yeah.
So Mary, honestly, I can't imagine how just 1 year after having Prince, you've not only gone right back into boxing and being punched in the tummy and all that, but you've won a gold at the Asian Games. How did you do it?
It's a passion.
Yeah.
Of course, my husband is always supporting me. And before the marriage, it was all, we are already committed,
That he'll allow you to box.
Yes.
That was the condition.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that you've supported it the way you have. So were you always this supportive of Mary's boxing?
Seeing her patience and talent which she has, that makes me more realize that I should fully support to achieve her dreams. So she's ready to box and I'm always ready to support her.
That's amazing. So does that mean that you are very hands-on with the children?
I have now 8.5 years of experience as a father, and 80% of all time with my children is with me.
But that's amazing. And I think it must be difficult to not be with them for 80% of the time. Yes. How do you manage that?
Of course, it's very hard as a mother. Leave them and go and train. But still, after having a kids, my performance, it's still maintaining.
Okay.
Before the marriage was just one-time world champion.
Yes.
And after the, having a kids, it's 3-4 time world champion.
Yes, and I think it's fantastic that you've started your boxing foundation. I think I read somewhere that you said you want to build champions and other gold medalists.
Right.
So tell us about the foundation.
The idea is come through my husband. We don't have any support, and we are doing on our own, and whatever I get from the incentive from the state government and the center government, so I've given all
of it to the foundation for the children.
And I've just given as a free of cost for the training, for the food, for the accommodation.
How many students do you have?
In resident, there is
35 of
35
them are in residence.
Wow. And do you participate a lot? Are you there most days, or is your training separate?
Really, I couldn't give.
Yeah.
I was in the training, I was in the competition, and come back, I just need a recovery also.
Of course. And you need to be with the children and make up the 20-30% that for Onler's 80%.
Yes.
So you do that.
Maybe after the retirement, I will be fully give a time to my academy.
Mary was about to give up her profession. I said, you should keep on fighting. If you keep on fighting, then people will know that you can still fight.
I know you had a very difficult time when Nainai was not well, when he was very small, and he had to have a surgery and you were competing.
Yes.
How did you deal with it, and how did you compete and win when you were going through all that emotionally?
Well, when I was in Patiala camp, Nainai is not feeling well.
Yeah.
And of course, I keep contact all the time to my husband every day. And doctors say that Naina is having a hole in the heart. And my husband doesn't tell me anything, okay? Then the treatment is going in Infal. And finally, there is no any facility, the heart surgery has facility not in Infal. So doctor advised to go, they have given 3 options. Chandigarh, Delhi, and this Bangalore. When they are planning to come to Chandigarh, so my husband told me that we are coming to Chandigarh.
And you were at the camp?
I'm in the camp.
You were in the camp.
I'm in the camp. We are just talking in the phone.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the problem? The exact problem. So the movie and the real was a little bit, the timing was changed. I used to know before I go for the competition.
Yeah, the movie showed
During
you
the
didn't know
competition.
and you did it
Yeah.
without knowing. But
Yeah.
actually you knew
Yeah, I
that he
knew
was
that.
fine.
Yes.
So you were there.
Yeah, I will be there finally. I will be there and taking care of him.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing. Because I think as a parent, it's very difficult to miss big things.
Yeah,
You know?
I was worried that whether I will miss or
Not.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank God you were there.
Yeah.
Really. And now I'm sure when he's running around and jumping around
Yes.
and having
Now
fun,
it's
sometimes
definitely.
it's such a relief, of course, to
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that he's fine. So that brings me to another very interesting point of infrastructure and the role of grandparents. So, for example, now when you're here, who's looking after the kids? Is it your parents or somebody else?
And luckily, I don't have both father-in-law and mother-in-law. My mom, my dad is still there, and they're taking care of them. And, sometimes I feel if they are with us, so that will be, the happiness will be different.
Yeah.
She is emotional because my father was a teacher, and even he himself support her.
Yes.
And when somebody says Mary is already getting married, please stop your bahu to go to the ring and fight. My father said, this is not your problem. This is not my problem. She can do anytime if she likes.
That's amazing.
That's how my father used to encourage her.
Yeah.
2006 was the saddest great setback for all the families. because my father was kidnapped and killed. So at that time, Mary was shocked and I was shocked. All the families are silent. So who kills my father without any reason, without giving any warning, or there is nothing. So they just killed and left. And Mary was about to give up her profession. I said, you should keep on fighting. People want you to demoralize. If you keep on fighting, then people will know that you can still fight. So that's how I try to convince her, go and fight again. And as husband and wife, it's not about going holidays, it's not about eating good food, it's about cooperation. We should cooperate.
But that's wonderful. That's a very good way of putting it. Is there anything you would like to say to other parents? Any tips, anything you'd like to say?
As a mother, please keep continuous in your profession. And of course, there will be so many problems comes in your life, in your family, but we have to fight it. And of course, husband support is very neat, and I hope that every husband, they will support our wife. I think it's a real champion is my husband.
That's very sweet. And is there any message you'd like to give, Onler?
As a father and as a husband, I would like to say that love, cooperation, and openness. Whatever I want, I have to share to my wife so that she understands.
Yes, communication.
So, communication. So we should be with open-minded in the family. So that's all.
That's wonderful. And on that note, thank you so much. It's been really a pleasure. Very, very inspirational. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It was incredible meeting these super inspirational people. And I'd love to meet so many more of you and hope to in seasons to come. This being the finale of this season, it's time to say goodbye. And to be honest, cliched as it may sound, it makes me sad. But we hope to be back with many more seasons. Until we meet here again, goodbye. Do keep interacting with me on our social media platforms and sharing your inspirational parenting stories and anything else you'd like to share.